Hey, what is going on, everyone? Wow, lots of faces in the chat already. How are you all doing? What's up, Danny Expert, Xylan, Captain Croissantwich, Magi163, Safe Sloth TV, Nikolai, Gru, Wrinkle with the 28-month sub. That's awesome, dude. How's it going? What up, Porius? Thank you, Wrinkle. You got any dates planned for a bikepacking trip yet? I've been seeing your updates. Looks like you're getting some cool stuff, some cool gear for that. But yeah, welcome everyone. Today we're going to be doing something I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I've been wanting to do this since the sensors overhaul we got recently. Been stuck in home in COVID quarantine. Oh yeah, I heard about that. I hope everything goes all right over there. Yeah, so we're on the latest test pre-release build for Beta 11, which from my last run, well, this notably includes what's going to be relevant for this run, I guess, our hover and flight reduced support, which we played with last run. We got a W++ with the new flight, and since that last run, they got a huge energy buff, so flight units use half as much energy across the board, which makes them a lot more usable early on and throughout the game. And most recently, sensors got overhauled. It kind of got tightened. The lowest range sensors got a slight buff, and the highest range sensors got nerfed a bit. So I think the range goes from 14 to 20 sensor range, and it used to be like 13 to 30. And I'm actually kind of excited to try this out, because on my last run, we didn't get good sensors until after the first factory floor, or like pretty late in the first factory floor. And I was playing on hover, which was pretty slow. And I seriously think that was some of the most compelling stealth gameplay I've had in Cogmind, was having to use like terrain and walls and to avoid seeing enemies instead of being able to spot them from like, you know, 2/3 of a screen away and be able to avoid them at ease. So this should be really interesting to see how I don't know, capable stealth builds really are. And it's going to force us to use a lot of stealth utilities that you don't have to use normally. Cloaking devices and other stuff, which usually like just really aren't necessary, although they are useful. Alright, take it easy, Wrinkled. Good to see ya. Has hover been touched? Yeah, hover got a similar reduction in support to flight, about half on the upper end. And hover's energy upkeep got cut in half. I don't know if its energy per turn got cut in half. And I don't think its heat got touched. It didn't get as much of an energy buff as flight. Oh yeah, and we're not allowed to use FarCom, and we're not allowed to use any riff abilities that increase, or that give you like sensor style intel. It's like watcher feeds, patrol navigation, and whatever the one is that shows enemies, the detection one. So I'm basically saying for the challenge, no second tier riff abilities. You can go in there for just to get riff in general if you want. I don't think that's incredibly useful on its own, but other than that, no second tier riff abilities for this run. And the challenge does not start until factory, just because I think there's a lot of RNG trying to do this in materials. I'm learning that for a lot of these challenge runs in Cogmind, it makes sense just to make them start in factory. That way you can just kind of play through materials and like get set up. Otherwise there's a lot of randomness here. I think you're fine, Nikolai. Beta 11's probably not going to get released for quite a while, honestly. I'm sure it's at least like 3 months out. I mean, that's a wild-ass guess, but there's a lot of features that it seems like Kizrati wants to add. Although, honestly, Kizrati can develop the heck out of a game, and he can put out a lot of changes pretty quickly. If he wanted to, he could probably get pretty much everything he wanted in Beta 11 in a couple of weeks. So who knows, but I feel like he's taking it slow, trying to test out these changes, and my feeling is that we're at least 2 to 3 months out for that. I am feeling a little tired and foggy today, so not the best for this type of challenge run, but we'll see how it goes. And yeah, let's begin. So I think we're going to play materials, trying to set up flight. I don't really know what flight looks like now with the energy buffs. I'm kind of curious if I can get away with like 2 flight units and like a light ion engine or something. And also, I'm not familiar with the mass of a lot of the extra stealth utilities we might end up using are. So we might need more flight units just for that. But I might actually use like structural scanners and triangulators. Like, it might be good here. So we'll see how that goes. But we'll just play a pretty standard materials branch here. We're just gonna go for a W0. I don't think low spot is conducive to extended. And we can probably steal from exiles, because we don't want to go into caves. You can get spotted immediately in caves. Summoned by structural scanner. Welcome, Aomika. Anything planned with EM launchers in Beta 11? Probably. I'd like to get sterilization, see it be overhauled in general. I think it's a bit of an awkward mechanic at the moment. It solved an issue that it set out to solve, but I feel like it has other implications. I'm kind of curious to see if that stays like that or if it gets changed in the next couple of betas. I don't know if we want anything from the recycler anymore. Now that we can't stack storage. Oh yeah, and one of the big Beta 11 changes is that storage is no stack now. I think most people know how that works though. Okay, the small laser is pretty bad. Let's run treads in a wheel. I'm gonna grab the mining laser. Alright, I'd like to play through materials quickly, but we also need to do... Can I beat this guy to his terminal? 90? Not really. I can't even break this, can I? I can if I high roll the EM pulse gun. Check that out. New 2-slot storage. Cargo storage unit. Yeah, you get even more slots with a humpack now too. Humpack gives 30. I mean, wasn't the Golem army restricted by how many you could bring into a new area anyways? So if you have 35 inventory slots, is that enough? Could be, right? I feel like it's still feasible. Yeah, Humpback sucks now, which I don't like, because I actually thought Humpback was a really interesting item. But now it's like really bad. I just don't see a compelling reason to use it at all. Now I was probably the only person that used them like legitimately before. We're gonna need hackware to recall exterms. That's gonna be a tricky part about this type of run. Is the programmers, which will always be able to spot you. So we still have to do a lot of. We have to be good at hacking too, which is gonna be interesting. I almost wish we could do this without having to be like hacking focused, but it's gonna be necessary. Do I grab a signal interpreter now? I don't even know how good the base level one is. We're almost guaranteed to find another one, right? I'll leave that on the ground. We want more storage first. Swap out this small laser for another EM pulse gun. Swarmer is awesome. There's our sensor array. You can only use this throughout the whole game. Was that the only swarmer? That was weird. Dude, he took my sensor array. What's up with all these watchers? Get out of here, losers. There they are. I wonder how those other ones didn't get notified of me right away. They usually don't forget quite that fast. Like, how good are these flight units now? 4 support is garbage. I could see us playing hover early in factory like I did in my last run too. That was not too bad. It's an interesting challenge. Yeah, I think we'll have some fun with this. I'm definitely excited to see how it plays out. Like a ton of things are going to be different. Like, because we kind of want to assume that we're never going to get seen by enemies. So, like, normally I'd be pulling, like, analyses and stuff here, which actually will help in materials, but, like, that doesn't really matter. And I think we're going to learn a lot going through this, because there's probably a lot of, you know, scenarios and edge cases and stuff that I'm not even, like, predicting and foreseeing. Yeah, let's get some analyses. What was the rationale behind the sensor nerfs? Were people relying on them too much? I'd say so. The sensor, so long-range sensors were incredibly good. You wanted them on pretty much any build. Like every single build pretty much benefited from them, while you're playing stealth or like heavy combat. Just due to the alert mechanics, like in Cogmind, you're incentivized to avoid combat like no matter what. Sometimes around research, depending on your slot distribution, You did want to ditch sensors for combat efficacy, otherwise you take too much attrition in combats because you're not killing fast enough. Although honestly, with the no stack storage, you have more utility slots. That's probably, like, sensors on combat is probably more powerful than it's ever been. They seem pretty fair to me, but I guess we're gonna find out how much sensors are really needed on this run. Shadow Cloak would be sweet, but I don't know if I'd call it reliable to get. Shadow's kind of rare to begin with, and then killing him isn't easy. But I don't think we're gonna go in the caves at all. If we could get Cloak of Protection, that would be pretty awesome. And I don't mind stealing from the exiles, because we're not going to want to go to the caves anyways. Caves has like 0 spawn protection rules, so you don't know if you'll get spotted the second you go in there, so it's not really good for a low spot run like this. Oh, you're making a joke, yeah. I get it. Surprised he didn't get alerted sooner. This could be the reinforcements, although it's probably more likely to be a recycler or engineer. It's a little soon. Alright, we're gonna go heavy on these light assault rifles, I think. Yeah, there they are. Looks like we can dodge them. I kind of want storage before going to the mines. Actually, more treads would be sweet, too. From this hauler. See if I can avoid that trap. You try to fully outsource your cargo to haulers. Stealth with 3 haulers is not that hard. Yeah, I'm sure that'll work. It's a lot of grunts. Dude, why did he go back to where he came from? Weird. That doesn't look like any storage cache. Let's keep moving. More tread, swap out these legs. Oh, you're right. It probably recalled the other reinforcements. Spread lasers any good? It's actually a lot of damage. These are like bad flat guns. which means they're still pretty awesome at this point in the game. I will say it's kind of awkward not being able to fill my utility slots on the early materials floors anymore. But if I put on like a heatsink and 2 spread lasers, that'd probably like own this first floor. Let's try it. I'm just gonna grab 2 of them to replace these light assault rifles since I can't use them right away. I really need a heatsink to use them. Is hammer better for digging than the mining laser? Probably. Hey, what up, John? I saw you streaming chess earlier. How'd that go? I think we found our heatsink. Nope, didn't drop it. Came in 5th place. Oh, a little tournament. I was like, how do you get 5th place in chess? That's pretty bad. It came in 5th out of 2. I guess I should have slapped on like a train scanner or something, right? Alright. Now we can carry things. $11 players. Top 50, not bad. Or 50%. Oh, come on. Wouldn't mind having like more treads, but let's just go. I don't like spending time in materials. It's like the most boring part of the game. You think base tier shield gen is still usable with an ion engine? At 1 to 6? At this stage of the game, while I'm using kinetic weapons, you're probably right. It's definitely an option. I won't go back for them at this point, though. Alright, let me fight this hauler real quick. Actually, I'll let him come out here, because I don't know what these grunts are doing. Oh, come on, dude. That hauler got so far away. Oh, let's just get the heck out of here, I guess. Although I kind of need more prop, I think. Of course he didn't drop any. When am I gonna join the OOTC chess team? I don't know. I like chess, I just haven't had time to play it lately. I'd like to get into it again. What's up, Lux? How's it going? Combat linear grabjet nerf? They didn't get nerfed specifically, did they? It's just all hover units got nerfed, right? God, I love it when they run towards you. You still almost can't kill them? Dude, this guy had tractor beams too. Better be treads down here. Nope. Alright then. Let's just get out of here then. Live stream notification didn't report this stream. Yeah, I need to fix that. It's really slow. This was eventful. Second intruder approaching, eliminate. Are those both always part of the same event? I wonder how that works. Man, materials combat feels so awful. Dude, no one ever told me how cool spread lasers sound. That is so satisfying. Imagine taking 100 core damage immediately on entering mines. I know, right? Did we get exiles here? No, awesome. That means I don't have to worry about proxy caves, core integrity, and it means I don't have to miss out on a floor to check out exiles, because I probably would have skipped exiles if they were on this floor. Because it's a lot harder to get flight units if you skip -9 materials. I feel like I need to grab legs now, too. Material stockpiles. Show me the structural scanners. We should probably leave. I think we legitimately die here most of the time if we get the assembled event. And nothing here is very good for the run we're doing. Well, there's a few things, but like drones and experimental sensor array are like the two best things you find in the mines. And those are both pretty bad for the thing we're doing because A, our conduct means we can't use the experimental sensors, and then low spot means I assume it counts when drones get spotted and allies get spotted, so we don't really want any allies. What about sensor drones? I think they're cheating for this run as well. I won't be using them. They have makeshift sensors, right? So they're technically not allowed, I would say. I'm guessing 3 propulsions where we're going to want to end up with. I think 2 is probably pushing it, especially since I'm not used to this build. So let's go with 3 for now. Challenge run is stealth, minimum sensor tier, and get spotted as few times as possible throughout the run, starting in factory. Yeah, let's check out these sweet stockpiles. Data jack stockpile. Prototype energy gun could actually be pretty good. Are these any good? I want to grab like another heatsink and turn into a thermal build for materials. Is that the new meta? It might be. Grab that swarmer analysis. Oh, I have more capacity here, more slots. Yeah, I'll throw on 1 wheel and halve my speed. That sounds pretty good. These don't have recoil, do they? Nope, just minus targeting. I'm not gonna bother swapping to treads. Oh, a cooling system. "22 heat dissipation, don't mind if I do." That's actually too strong at this point. Let's just roll with this for now. Just one dude? I wonder if there's a hauler over there. Didn't Kiz say something about a certain S7 turn-off terminal interaction with a certain Q item? I don't know. I assume you're talking about the Sigix exoskeleton terminal? Dude, that Watcher is lording everyone. Should have put on my treads a long time ago if I knew we were going to be fighting this much from one spot. Slodout is making some good pew-pews. No one ever told me how sweet all these thermal weapons sound. Dude, we killed the Watcher and the Hauler. Fucking beautiful. What change are you guys talking about? I have no idea what you all are referring to. Dude, cooled ion engine is pretty sweet. We support this on flight. Grab a backup one of those. And we found a prototype flight unit. And a launcher. Oh my god, even more guys. Oh sweet, those guys have treads. Love to see that. Light nuclear core? Yeah, I was considering picking that up. I grab that for my flight transition. One cooled ion will last me until flight transition. Oh, this actually has the same supply as the cooled ion engine, so it's actually just better later as well. Dude, this materials floor is starting to feel like a research floor. What is this nonsense? Holler manifest. More spread lasers. Let's get them. No more flight units, unfortunately. I don't see any hover either. Match the main thing that makes you not want to start new games up. Yeah, and it's weird because you actually want to spend a lot of time in materials if you're trying to play optimally, but it's just not fun to do. So I've been trying to maintain a weird balance of playing through these like quickly, but not like giving up too much stuff. Especially if we're trying to like play flight. Like I really want to get some hackware and flight units and stuff, which means I need to like almost full explore some of these maps. The first one you need to full explore to find like the storage cache, otherwise the game's like could be really annoying to play for a bit. Alright, take it easy, Nikolai. Thanks for hanging out, dude. Ooh, this was the case where this was an awesome stockpile. Where did I drop that battery? I should keep that. Oh well. Here's a battery. Also a prototype ballistic gun. Ah, man, large storage is not enough anymore, huh? What do y'all think this is? Improved assault rifle. I'll drop one of these EM shotties. I think the improved assault rifle might have more long-term value. I'll run something like this for now. Probably try to find some armor. Beam cannon's kind of cool. As long as we're running double heat sinks, I guess this is the right choice. You find the flight transition to be even more annoying than before, as if that were even possible. How so? Shouldn't it be easier to transition? Or is there more like... Well, I guess with the support nerfs, maybe it isn't as easy. The power is really nice, though. I'm gonna grab grunt analysis. Entry analysis? Nope. Here's mines. I'd like to get more treads first. This guy has armor too, so let's drop one of these heat sinks for some armor. So how about these legs for treads? There's another imp assault rifle. Oh, storage makes the flight transition a lot more annoying too, doesn't it? Yeah, that's exactly what you just said. Come on, dude. What do you have inside of this one? Improved assault rifles. Yeah, you can go. Kind of wanted your treads, but I'm not gonna bother. Let's see if we can maybe get some hackware from operators real quick. Otherwise, I just want to leave. I break this with anything? Probably not. Rocket launcher will do it. Nice. Dodge the operator so I don't reduce his salvage. Excellent. Hover unit any good now? 6 support? We could play factory with hover units, honestly. I don't mind 60 speed for the kind of run we're doing here. Okay, maybe I ditch this heatsink and just throw on the cooling system. We're getting to the point where... I'll ditch these treads too. We're not going to need a ton of integrity for the rest of the materials, so I can start ditching like backups and stuff. Ooh, advanced terrain scanner. It's probably going to be awesome for us later. That's going to be amazing for our stealth build. And utility shielding? Ooh! Okay. How do I carry this stuff? And how good are these legs right now if I just make like a triple titanium leg swap? This will be 51 support. We'll be at 130 speed. We're probably not gonna end up much heavier than that. Yo, let's go. Let's go legs. This wheel, I think on the next floor will probably be a little slower. Yo, leg time. Grab some util shielding. So the util shielding is mostly for traps if we're not trying not to get spotted. You lose a slight targeting buff from half tracking, but gain the new evasion buff. Yeah, I haven't really used legs in the new version, so I don't know. It'll be fun to use. These are like comparable to treads as far as like, I guess the tread coverage makes a huge difference. The treads are actually probably better here, but these will be fun. We're actually going to be a little faster here though, which is a big advantage. I don't have to carry on the wheel. I can move at about at the same speed. Kicking build? Heck yeah. Kicking builds have always been kind of fun. Low-key fun. We can ditch the matter pod. Let me grab this terrain scanner. Light aim pulse cannon. I kind of like pulse cannons better than the shotties. Ditch the spread laser for that at this point. Alright, we can probably just leave now. This is an exit, right? Get out of here. Oh, that watcher's lucky he jumped me, so I couldn't kick him. So how's that work? If you don't have any weapons equipped, then ramming enemies gives you a higher core hit chance. Dude, what is this? Is ARC just like Park taking a smoke break or something? Get back to work, ARC. That was so effective. Oh man. Hard light armor plating. This has more integrity than my current light armor plating. Should carry both if I could. But I can't, so. Wasn't that guy supposed to summon reinforcements? Exiles should be on this map now, right? Yeah, something is scanning the area. What the hell is a disposable heatsink? I feel like I've never seen this before. Are these like ultra rare materials items, or has my vision just made me like automatically ignore like everything that's garbage? I just don't see disposable heatsinks and triangulators anymore. I've been conditioned not to. Storage entrances, that's cool. It means we're gonna know where storage is. Whenever we're on the floor it's on. Automatically. That's a weak minds level. I think as much we want here anyways. Like we talked about last floor. Yeah, I think -8 storage would be pretty good. Although it does mean we spend more time in materials. Storage is kind of like factory light though, right? It's not quite the same as materials. Okay, so with a challenge run, we have to lose FarCom. Let's make sure we do that. Cloak of Protection? Dude, modified TNC is... So how does spotting work with non-combat bots? If you attack them, does it count as a spot? I don't actually know what gets registered in the score sheet. Does anyone know? Dude, the stash is terrible. If they alert hostiles, it counts. So if a hostile is alerted to you via a watcher or another signal, even if they don't see you, it counts as a spot. Or if you, for instance, like shoot them with a penetrating weapon. Okay, that's good to know. Ah, this is garbage. So do I lose FarCom if I anger them before leaving? Actually, I guess I should just take something out. That way I don't have to risk getting a Zion here on the next floor. Man, this is terrible. Is there high cap storage here? I don't want to have to like drop items to lose FarCom now. Z hero only appears if you kill them. Aggro doesn't work. Really? Who do you have to kill? How does that work? My beloved humpback. Reduced to from a good meme to a bad meme. 240 mass is just like untenable in early materials. There's supposed to be new ways to get storage coming in beta 11. Since like there's less flexibility and you want to be able to transition from one storage type to another more easily. So I wonder if Humpback becomes like a later game thing, where it's probably more appropriate now. You think it's probably if you kill any of the named bots. So I think what I'm supposed to do here is put on the Humpback. Get 530 speed. Oh yeah, so legs and treads now have like a really egregious penalty stat. Legs are 80 and treads are 100. Which I haven't played with them yet, but I think that's a little overtuned. I think that makes it a kind of binary decision where you just never want to be overweight in most cases. When I thought I was like one of the biggest advocates of penalty stat getting nerfed. I feel like that's a bit of an over nerf. Well, yeah, because the way storage used to be is, except for high cap, which was common enough, especially with integrity, you could find it and use it when you wanted. Like large and medium were easily accessible on any floor pretty much. So you'd be able to fine tune your storage level by just like adding or reducing large storage units at the very least. But you lose that nuance with no stack. So there needs to be ways to get high cap and cargo and like other kinds of storage. Humpback. Absorb my rocket damage. Dude, that hit everything but my Humpback that second time. You have failed me, Humpback. So modified TNC might be okay. Actually, that'll be good on the next floor. And we definitely just ditched the supersonic drone. Actually, do we let this thing rip around materials? That could be fun. Oh, it's not good enough to carry, right? I only took the humpback so I could steal there. Huge and cargo are rating 1, so you can hack for them on -10 if you're planning around them. I don't like how... I don't know, fabbing for storage shouldn't be like the primary way of getting them, though. Especially on the combat type builds that want to use the higher tier storage. It feels so bad to fab rating 1 item and then get locked out of the fab network and gain 400 influence immediately. But yeah, it's probably the best way to do it now. Alright, what do we have on the ground here? I need the leg, modified TNC, and the light nuclear core. So I gotta drop... Oh, I have a slot here. I gotta drop like 1 item. Get rid of this assault rifle. All in on the EM. This is gonna hurt when we run out of energy. Stealth. We go double utility here. Hey, we got storage. Interesting. So we might be able to get flight units there. What is a self-destruct interrupter for? So they're in the caves. When you kill enemies, their items will self-destruct, so you can't grab them easily unless you kill them with EM or corruption. So it basically prevents that. And at a higher level, there are some strong enemies which you aren't supposed to have access to their parts, so all their parts are destroyed when you kill them. But that prevents that, so it lets you farm higher tier enemies for godlike parts in certain cases. Oh yeah, the humpback fabbing run was incredible. I'd use data jacks to find fabricators from haulers, and go find them, fab a bunch of humpbacks, stuff them full of like couplers and stuff. And then what's cool is once you have like 3 humpbacks on, it's actually like a lot of coverage. And then you can equip 1 utility shielding, which blocks humpbacks unlike armor. And then basically all of your integrity is built into utility shielding, which you could just store in your humpbacks. So your humpbacks are like literally full of integrity that's being used when the humpbacks get hit. It was like a really cool synergy. Alright, let's see what Hauler's got. We got air jets. Improve VTOLs. Okay, cool. We could definitely make improved VTOLs work. And aerolevs. Wow, we got a lot of options here now. Stock is on the stove. You cooking over there? Yeah, no problem, Alterview. Always happy to answer questions. Do we even need to go to storage? Can we find anything useful in storage for our stealth build? We could riff for the heck of it. Is that valuable? We're restricted to only non-combat hacks because you pretty much have to get spotted by most enemies to data jack them otherwise. But Rift mostly cuts us out of cave branch rewards, and we're not doing branches. You even have to roleplay the cook in D&D. That's funny. Oh, I guess I didn't even need the Holler Manifest thing. Man, modified TNC looks so pretty. I haven't used this thing in a while. I guess killing MTF in storage would be pretty sweet. Get like a mini fusion reactor. Maybe that's what we go for. What do we even want from here? So we're at base rating 3 for schematics. Is there anything that we want to start pulling? We should probably grab like the improved sensor array schematic. No, we're gonna find another one of those. I hope I don't have to fab one of those ever. Don't know why you got auto-modded there, Whiskey. I think it flagged DM. I missed it. I proved it too fast. I believe fitting that MTM, the most prolific bot murderer, has a bot who is such a tempting target. Yeah. Whoops, I did not mean to cancel out of that. Now our detection chance just went up. Good Trojan operators, I think. Weakest zone layout ever, perhaps. I guess at least I know there's no rooms here now. What else should I put on? I actually don't have any utilities that we... Oh yeah, the supersonic drone. Dude, let's let her rip. What are you doing? Oh, are you set to follow right now? Explore. Oh my god. The supersonic drone's so bad now. Has anyone used this since drones got nerfed? That was so awkward. So drones automatically recall to your bay if they get shot at. So he just like ran, saw the first enemy, and then came right back. And since he's so fast, it happened in like half a turn. Dude, and now anything it runs into is tracing us to our position. Wow, that's bad. That sentry's probably coming here now. Oh, the sentry actually didn't see us. Or didn't see the drone. They don't actually track to you? Don't they track to the drone's last known position? When do they stop tracking? As soon as the drone returns to the bay, they forget? Really? That is not how I thought that worked. I think this grunt got pinged by the watcher. Oh, speaking of the watcher, I want your signal interpreter. Actually, visual processing unit is pretty good for our build too. Oops, more grunts. That's a lot of grunts. I wonder if they'll forget about us if I sneak into this room. This is like a long walk for them. They got really confused already. Huh. Yeah, the engineer came and blocked the door and then they turned around and forgot about us. We probably want a data jack to find shoots too. Shoots means we get spotted a ton. I might take one of those. Dude, our legs are still standing strong. God, that guy's fast. So how many slots are we gonna have on the next floor? We'll have 7 utility slots. So sensors, signal interpreter. Do we use any storage? We're probably gonna want some storage to like carry stuff that we want to wear on the next floor. Or is that not even necessary? Should I just use utility shielding instead of storage, and so we don't need backups? And just hope we don't get seen? Yeah, I'm thinking about trying this without storage. That way we can equip more cool utility, or like stealth utility stuff. So we have sensors, and then essentially 5 slots to play with. We're probably looking at like terrain scanning, utility shielding. So that's like 3 slots right there. And hackware. We probably need more than 2 hacking suites though. Because we have to be really good at hacking on the next floor. So maybe we don't go all in on the terrain scanning next floor. Maybe we try to wear like 4 hacking suites, sensors and signal interpreter, and utility shielding, something like that. Alright, so what was I gonna drop? We're gonna need a melee weapon too. This heavy hammer surprisingly isn't that heavy. Maybe we can just carry this. We probably rip off the TNC on the next floor. I don't know if it's worth leaving equipped the whole time. Although it would be nice to be able to hunt haulers that have potential stealth items. Play that by ear, but we'll leave it on at least till the next floor so we can see what's on in the haulers on the next floor. Explosive digging? Isn't that just a meme? Or does that become good with structural scanners? Okay, I think the base visual processing unit is not worth carrying. Let's go with the structural scanner. You know, you would say that. I don't know how much I trust your judgment there. Dude, my VTOL modules are running away. Dude, those guys like bolted over here. Oh, you can shoot me, but I can't shoot you. This game is so bad with that. So I was wondering earlier, are there cases where you can see the enemy but they can't see you, and vice versa? I know there are cases where you can see the enemy but they can't see you. Now, is the opposite true? And does that make transmission jammers like really awkward in some cases where you're like entering a room and then a sentry that you can't see sees you, but it's out of line of sight from your transmission jammer? I want to test that. You don't think line of sight works that way? Well, there are 100% cases where you can see an enemy and they can't see you, and you both have the same vision range. I think the opposite, where an enemy can see you but you can't see them, you just don't know. So it's hard for the player to like actually be aware of when that's happening. Alright, let's go away from EM. Flat cannons and light cannons sound fun. Behemoths actually have deceptive line of sight. They can only see 15 tiles south. Oh, interesting. I didn't even know that. I want plasma cannons or heavy lasers. Those heavy lasers are probably actually decent, but I don't really feel like fighting swarmers, more swarmers right now. Okay, this guy has improved VTOLs. So where were those guys going? It looked like they were chasing me. One of them must have saw me. Was there a watcher out of line of sight or something? The line of sight is calculated only from the top left tile. Oh, that makes sense. It's good to know, actually. Yeah, this is where it starts to become really difficult to carry flight stuff, huh? We have to ditch the supersonic drone. Wait, I don't want to use any of these utilities yet. I guess I have to. Just on a hacking suite, I guess. Hope it doesn't get shot off. Do I just ditch a leg and have no backup prop? What could go wrong? I could have put on a shield gen, but that means we need more slots. Is this the other improved VTOL guy? No, it is not. He's all the way down there. He has the arrow levs as well. Alright, let's go chase him. Oh my god, there's more swarmers there. Oh no, it's just another sentry. Okay. Get wrecked, sir. There's a prototype flight unit on the ground. Dude, where was that sentry going? He knew where I was, but he walked past us. Do you remember where the ZDC tile is, where the Z-Light can't see you? Yes. If you can pull up if you can post like a screenshot of that area, I could show you. It also works for the combat programmers in the Doom corridor. Oh my god, this hauler. Forced tunnel. We're probably not doing any branches, right? We might do research branches. But we don't want to do caves. I don't think there's a ton of value in forced tunnel, and I don't want to take any additional integrity because I don't have backup legs right now. Where's this mystical Z-Light free spot? Basically, there's a path where you can dig through on the left side of the main room in ZDC. And you can get to the stash at the top of the one that's guarded by Z-Lights without actually having any of them see you, which is really, really strong. It's actually harder now with digging with cannons because you can accidentally open up a tile where they can see you. It's probably safer to risk a melee dig. They don't spot you in the reverse situation. So enemies can only spot you if you could have spot them at 16 range. Is kind of what I'm hearing. Interesting. Okay, that's good to know. Oh, improved VTOL modules are actually pretty good bonus over improved flight units right now. I should definitely go and get those other VTOL modules. What the heck do I drop for this stuff now? Heavy assault rifle. I don't think I'm going to have the integrity to go through storage while carrying our flight transition stuff. I think we skip storage. We could probably rush through it if we needed to. Storage would be fun, especially if we did find NTF. It's too bad we didn't get any high cap in Exiles. Come on, dude, save. I was gonna go to the swarmers. Okay, so I think 3 improved VTOL modules and then a backup improved flight unit. Seems like a reasonable transition piece. Oh, these things can get wrecked by traps too, can't they? Maybe 2 backup flight units is the way to go. Prototype hover is definitely intriguing. But we probably don't want to go that route. Alright, maybe I do drop something else for another flight unit here. Make sure we have all our backups. Dude, I literally have like no backups for my current build. All I have are flight transition parts, plus a rocket launcher and a pulse cannon. Guess I'll drop the rocket launcher. Take analysis sentry if we're thinking about going to storage. Yeah, you could just lose here. If I lose like 1 prop or an engine with this build, yeah, there's a lot of things that can go wrong here. I agree with that. Alright. I think since we have FarCom, we can peek into storage, although I still need hackware, which is really awkward. It'd be nice to, like, fight 2 of these guys, although I can't even get salvage from these guys anymore. Oh my god, this is terrible. So I don't have any weapons. Oh, this is an advanced signal interpreter. That's actually hardcore. Dude, how did he get alerted? Destroyed his hacking suite. The heck are the odds of that? Data jack is droppable? Probably. I'd really like to know where chutes are on the next floor right away. If we get shooted, then our whole low spot run is kind of ruined, because you don't get out of chutes without getting spotted like 10 times. I guess if you're lucky, maybe 4 to 5 times. Okay, those might be NC bots. I guess that wouldn't be too bad. It'd be really unlucky to get shooted. So maybe we'll just take some risk. I think we're more likely to get hackware here than in storage, so let's go this way. You know, bombardment thrusters. Long-range train scanner is an upgrade. Speaking of terrain scanning, dig through here. Maybe top right. Not really where we want to go though. Maybe the mod TNC is just bad here. Crushers do add spots. Okay, then yeah, we want to avoid that. Another light nuclear core. I'll go ahead and put that on right now. Which is actually probably a bad idea. No, we're mostly transitioned out of EM weapons. That's probably fine. Borrow a structural scanner. I don't really have slots to prioritize a structural scanner, unfortunately. I think that's the main issue with that. Terminal index. Let's see where these guys belong. Oops, I meant to kick him, but that works. This is gonna be awkward. I think I want this guy's salvage. Oh, wow, we crit him with an EM pulse cannon? I didn't even know these things could crit. 1%, not bad. There's a structural scanner. I wanted his heavy assault rifle so I could actually get salvage from this guy, though. I don't remember if this guy can jump me if I stand in the doorway. I think he probably can. No hackware drops. You fried a hover unit. I must have high rolled the pulse cannon corruption. Oh, I should take off my terrain scanner in combat too. You don't want that taking damage. I probably... I guess I can stick to legs. Has more integrity, let's grab that. Is operators all the way up here now? I think I just leave. 2 hackware is like way less than ideal. Repair station? I guess we could have repaired the leg. Let's just get going though. I'm so tired of being in materials. Let's go to storage. There should be a few operators there. Whoops. Oh my god. I didn't mean to do that. Ah, my fucking leg. Okay. I thought I had my mace equipped. That's my best leg too. We're moving at 205 now. This is garbage. I think we gotta go back to treads now. I was trying to avoid fighting all this stuff. I have not seen an advanced EMP blaster. Dude, we just lost so much integrity in that one. I think it was just the grunts, too. Like, the last two grunts. We took so much damage from. We potentially die in storage, but... Yellow? I really hope we don't, though, because I don't want to play materials any longer. Dude, how have we spent over an hour in freaking materials? Whoa, did you see that chain of events? Wait, how did the engineer set off a trap on a hit that killed him? We hit the engineer, he got terminally corrupted, then he knocked back from the impact hit and set off a trap that was under him because he was corrupted, and then he died from corruption. That was the weirdest situation I've ever seen, and that chain of events makes no sense. It's kind of hilarious. I just don't know if it makes sense, and in another situation, like, you might have some salty reactions to that, is all I'll say. Yeah, so I guess he got corrupted and knocked back, and then it checked to set off the trap on the new tile with the corruption before the terminal corruption. Actually, look at this. Oh, because terminal corruption only happens on a fresh turn. That's why it happened. You'll notice that sometimes where an enemy won't corrupt on the turn you shoot them. That's why that happened. Okay, that's not as dumb as I thought it was. Although in that case, it was a really odd series of events. Can I break this with my flat cannon? Definitely not the flat cannon. I'll be with this. Yeah. Oh my god. Dude, stealth terminal. We should have known that was here too, because this guy didn't have enough time to move to the position he was in from this terminal. Dude, no more hackware. Cool. Yeah, we've been in materials too long. I'm starting to hate this run. God, coming into storage with no room for backup parts was a mistake, actually. How the heck am I supposed to survive this with the integrity of, like, 2 backup item slots? How sterilization plays out with high storage builds. That's like the main way that people have been playing sterilization. Oh, what's modified TNC have to say? Legs. There's your advanced EMP blaster. What is that? Oh, there's two guys stacked here. So the exit is going to be either here or here, right? I don't go to storage enough. I forget how this map plays out. You're going to be really slow on the biggest floors. You might not make it to the exits. That just depends on, I mean, how much prop you have and how slow you really are, and how much cooling you have. Dude, where the hell did that guy come from? Okay, at least he dropped his treads, which is what I wanted. Dude, I shot off his hacking suite again. Do you think this is this guy's terminal? It was. Oops, I didn't see those guys. I don't even have a launcher anymore. Okay, we don't need cooling systems anymore. We're just gonna have to live off of sentry treads, which is probably a viable way to play storage. I think flat cannon needs to be an emergency. Oh, that's just a light assault rifle, okay. Whoops, I don't want to shoot him. I want to shoot this guy. Oh, come on. Not falling for that trap. Prototype launcher stockpile. Mega Treads builds become meta? We can only dream. Okay, well, we've got all improved VTOLs now. That's pretty slick. What's this hauler got? Worst hauler ever? There's a lot of haulers here, actually. What do the rest of you have? That's what the other one had that we couldn't see before, grenade launcher. You guys all suck. Hey, we got a hacking suite. That's probably worth coming here alone. I feel much better with 3 hacking suites instead of 2. This is looking like a 5 prop slot -7. Why do you say that? We're playing actual stealth fine stuff. We can't kill things. Otherwise, we're gonna feel the low spot condition. Oh, you're just talking about because of how many flight units we found? That is true. Oh, I guess we gotta fight this guy. I think we already shut off his hacking suite, actually, right? I actually need to blow up these haulers just for their treads. Which means I shouldn't be shooting with the flat cannon, I guess. God. That watcher just got annoying. Sentry doesn't even know I'm here anymore. Look at this freaking corridor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Can I make it out? Barely. By the way, it looks like Kizrati is working on a not ironic ruler function that he teased to patrons, and it looks incredible. Oh my god, I wanted to shoot the Watcher, not those guys. Oh man. I don't have a launcher right now. Okay, these guys shouldn't come out here. They might wander out here, but they're coming to a terminal that's right there. That still implies memorizing bot sight distances. Well, I think that's part of the reasons you don't want to show it otherwise. Because I don't know if you... It gets awkward with meta-knowledge, whether you're supposed to know bot distances all the time. I think a ruler is the simplest way to implement something like that in a way that is useful. Oh god, we're about to get wrecked by grunts. I don't have the integrity for this. We alerted that sentry. Yeah, I don't know what these guys are doing. Go patrol your terminal. God, I need those treads. Dude, we've almost spent 2 hours of materials. Like, I can't believe we got suckered into playing materials this long. This was supposed to be like a fast run, and we've just been setting up flight this long. Dude, how do I get out of this place? I break this. I could. Oh, I didn't want to hit you. I wanted to ram you. Oh, don't drop that on the ground. I need that. This is so freaking awkward. Would be worse if we spend 2 hours in materials just to die. I'm actually running really low on core integrity. And I just wasted a shot there. Oh, how did these guys not drop any salvage? I guess coming in here for 1 or 2 hacking suites did end up being a bad idea. Crushing is minus salvage, ramming's actually plus salvage. Dude, I have a 0% chance to get access main here. Dude, you are far from home, little guy. This is probably better than the hammer. Oh, this is my only weapon? Jeez. Okay, they came from here, so there's an exit up here. That's where we need to go. It's top left. I don't know if I should grab that launcher or not. Oh shoot. This guy's gonna look. Okay, I thought that guy was gonna bring the assaults. That's a different event. Probably cooled plasma. Can that be cooled plasma? That is probably a good digging tool. I'll go look at it real quick. Nice, good call. We actually probably use that instead of an axe. I was hoping he'd be out of range of that guy. Whatever. Okay, I guess our stealth run starts here. I don't know what the exact alert value is for losing a part. So we end up running what? Light nuclear core, 3 VTOL modules, sensor array and signal interpreter. That leaves 5 slots. 3 hacking suites, that leaves 2 slots. Probably util shielding. A terrain scanner. Do we have support? Enough support for that? With 15 support. 5, so 10 support. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's about it. Yeah, I can't believe I spent 2 hours of materials. I regret everything. I don't know how that's possible. I guess storage didn't help, but here we are. All right, let's just go. I should transition here, right? No, we need slots first, so let's just go in. I kind of wish we got like one more hacking suite. Ooh, I should have grabbed some matter. We should be fine though. Fast track mats next run? I'll try. I've been wanting to do fast track runs again. I feel like if you skip like caves, you should be able to do like even plus wins without spending too much time. Let's take a quick look at the haulers on this floor. I think we end up ripping this thing off though. Cold VTOLs. More cold VTOLs. Okay, nothing too exciting here. Branchless plus. It wouldn't be fully branchless. You would go into the research branches. Alright, we have one more slot. Too bad I don't have like a structural scanner or something. Wow, we could have done this with 2 basic ass flight units actually. Maybe that's what I should have done. Yeah, the caves take so long. Think about it, if you do every caves branch, there's 12 caves maps. Like, caves and materials are the areas I don't like to spend much time in Cogmind. I can almost carry this, but not quite. I guess I'll leave this equipped. I guess I can leave this equipped too. Alright, so we have... This is our sensor range for the rest of the game. So we're gonna have to play around walls and line of sight and stuff, and I think it's gonna be really fun stealth gameplay, which is something that Cogmind could like really use, because I know people call like flight hack stealth, but you don't actually have to sneak around that much. You just kind of stay at a distance to enemies and wait for them to pass and stuff. And you can do some cool stealth maneuvers for sure, but I think it's gonna be fun trying to get like maximized value out of stealth utilities that aren't sensor arrays. I'm really excited to see how this goes. Let's take a quick break here though. Let's decompress from way too much time spent in materials and transition to fun factory stealth. So I will be right back.